Okay, welcome everybody. Karibuni Tungu campus, Susa. And I will shift again to English, okay? Even if I try, you know me, I try hard, but still I cannot really speak enough Swahili. Okay, so I'm really happy to see you all this morning. It's 9:56, so I think it's a very good time to start, okay, before 10. So I would like, before I present what we're going to do this morning, I would like to invite Dr. Makame from SUSA, Head of Social Science Department, to welcome us, okay, because we are now at SUSA on this campus today. I first worked with Dr. Makame the very first time I arrived in Zanzibar on the Zanzi project, and so we have made a lot of projects together, geospatial projects. So I'm really happy to have him today open this Open Cities technical workshop. Doctor, you are welcome.
Inviting me to open this internal workshop. Basically, I'm happy to welcome everyone in this internal workshop. Some of you are not new here. Even if you have completed your study, but you are part of this community. And those who have come outside, so we welcome them very much to our campus. This workshop is part of what we call Open Cities. It's a kind of initiative, I think some of you know, is a kind of initiative that are pushed by several organizations, including World Bank, to make sure that we build a resilient city. In order to build a resilient city, we need a number of information, or a lot of data, because we cannot decide what to do to build a resilient community if we don't have data. So data are the ones that will help us to make a lot of decisions and planning on various issues, including hazardous issues, but also development issues. We can't plan well about tourism if we don't have enough information or enough data. Within the open cities also is to have everything open. The data we are now digitizing, everything open, and this will create a kind of a room for students, but also for practitioners in this field to develop various applications that could be used in various development areas, including tourism and other issues. So, as Zanzibar became part of the Open City initiatives, so we would like this kind of activities to continue here and even in other area in town, in order for Zanzibar to continue to be a leader in this particular field in geospatial. So we need students to come up and participate and increase their skills in this kind of field. For us, for example, at the university, particularly at the Department of Social Science, or in School of Natural and Social Science, we have a lot of things going on. We expect to start developing a geoinformatics BSc next year, but also within our existing curriculum budgets, it's undergoing a lot of changes to put a lot of concepts and a lot of courses related to remote sensing and the GIS the aim is the same. You know that employment has become very difficult. So our aim is to make several changes in our existing curriculum to make sure that our graduates have this opportunity that we have currently. After that short remarks, I would like to officiate this internal workshop, which is very important. I would like to say the workshop is on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Makame. So you saw that you can continue at SUSA in the future with a BSc and then maybe a master in geoinformatics in the coming years. And I think that we are all happy to have that because it's good to, to do some geospatial to what you are doing. I look at you because I know that, for example, some of you are doing a lot of digitization, building that digitization, So I would like also you to understand why we do all that, okay? And I know also that some others are doing, for example, these last days so far, just for their own interest, they are mapping the island with Mapillary. So I want them to understand also what's going on. Some others are now some very good interactive mapping developers, and they have participated to this Mapbox workshop. Some others are involved in other activities. We have some people from ZUSP, okay, Zanzibar Urban Services Project, who are involved and who are, in a way, clients of many of these activities here, okay? And for sure, we have Dr. Muhammad here today also, and thank you very much for coming. This is really important because I think most of the activities that are under this Open Cities umbrella, and before that it was ZMI, in a way, framework, Zanzibar Mapping Initiative, we are really working in a way mostly for urban planning. I mean, not only because we know that the same information can be used in many different ways, but I would say that urban planning is really SUSA and by SUSA and We Robotics, Tanzania Flying Lab. They have been very active these last months, okay, and on different important topics. So I would like them also to tell us a bit more about what they do. And I also asked Omar Shehe, that maybe you are under drone wing. I don't know, you don't have the t-shirt today, okay? But to present us also about the wonderful interactive maps that have been produced during the Mapbox training. You can just say where he comes from, okay? His name and where he comes from, and then I will, like that, I have the time also to put the PowerPoint. So, who wants to start? Okay, Mohammed, you want to start?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mohammed Sekande. I'm an expert from National Bank. My name is Omar Sheikh Omar. I come from Sweden, so community under community.
Morning. My name is Abdulswamad Abdullah. I come from Sudan and develop interactive I have the fun for happy student and team management, but also one of
I'm attached to different ones, so I don't know which one to express myself. But I'm from Susan initially, and I'm also head of trainer in Tanzania Labs in Urbanisation, which is working on remote control backgrounds or support programs.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalid Majid from Digitalisation team. I'm Hassan Maksud from representative from the Urban Services Project.
Yes, my name is Gis, I'm a member of Digitalisation.
Good morning. My name is Adib Yamadi from Kansas City.
Salim, Asha Hashir Abu, leading team.
My name is Hamad Sabu Suleiman from Digitalisation. My name is Abdullah Yasser, so student
Hi everyone, my name is Ibrahim Allah. I come from Sweden and I'm the from
Chair, I want to be connected
Hi everyone, my name is Rimus, I'm the Director of Space Connect.
Part of Jean-Louis, no? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, camera. Okay, I think it's perfect. Okay, so you see that we have the agenda, but you could have presented because we know now what the robotics has. Okay, so open cities project. We could also produce something meaningful, useful, and used, potentially used. Imagine to have more phases behind. Okay, so this is also between World Bank and European Union. Okay. So, what is the, I mean, we are here, I'm really speaking under control or under we have an urban expert here. I'm not an urban expert, but we know that the trends in urbanization these last years and for the coming years, you know, show that most of the population in the world will soon live in urban and in cities. So here you can just see, I mean, in the 70s population, global population, with showing, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on that map, but you understand that where it is red, this is where you have most population, okay? So here in 2016, okay, these are the different hotspots of population that we have. And we plan, so you see that here, if we see around here, okay, or let's say in Africa, we have for sure some big changes, okay, and we can see that in 2030, so 2030 is just round the corner, you know, just 2 or 3 World Cup, and then it's 2030, okay? So you can see that in Africa, we will see big and what we call mega cities, okay, coming. So we have for sure some challenges, okay? You know some of them, okay? We all know that where you have a lot of people coming in, and if they are coming faster than the plans are ready for, or the services are in place to welcome them, it can become a bit of a nightmare for urban planners. You know, it's not easy to go as fast as people are moving, are coming, are building houses. So and this is true everywhere in the world, okay? So we have for sure some challenges. We know also, even if Mr. Trump doesn't agree that climate change seems to be or is a big issue, okay? Not that suddenly we will see that temperature in Zanzibar will raise of 10 degrees, but we can see that there is a lot of disasters, or let's say hazards, okay? Natural hazards are becoming a bit more unpredictable, and also you have more of these, okay? Storms, heavy rains, heavy high temperatures, etc. The more people you have, well, not always, okay, but you can have some challenges when it comes to environment, okay? So we have some challenges on environmental degradation, and we can see water resources, water pollution. We can see, even if the world is still wonderful, I don't want to say that everything is terrible. We have plenty of good reasons to hope, but we have some challenges. So World Bank and this GFDRR project, okay, and the initiative, not only under Open Cities Africa, but there are many other initiatives, like one which is called Open DRI, Open Data for Resilience initiative. They are pushing a lot, and they have been pushing a lot for making data as open as possible, okay? Open doesn't mean that you can get everything that you want, okay? But it means that information that is should be as much as possible transparent, open, easy to access for any stakeholder, any citizen, so that he can understand, he can have a better understanding by himself of the situation and what potentially the solutions that can be put in place. Open Cities for Africa is an initiative, quite a new one. There was Open Cities for Asia, okay, the past 5 years. So they worked in, there were some projects in different places, like Sri Lanka, like Indonesia, like India, okay? But now this is Open Cities Africa, okay? So, what is the objective of Open Cities Africa? It is, and I will read it, okay, at the same time as you read it, building skills, okay, so this is why we are doing things that they want to know more about, etc. So to support all of this, to support disaster risk management and urban planning in Africa. Okay, so this is the objective of Open Cities Africa. So in a way, we have some challenges, okay? So what can we do to capacitate some people, capacitate some actors, collect some data within that initiative, and then with these people and these data, we make sure that we put this data in use. Okay, so we have to understand, okay, how to put this data in use. Okay, how? So data in use, it means what kind of information, what kind of product that can be used. I think that Primož will cover maybe a bit more of these. Because it is a project involving 10 other cities, you know, there is a framework with a certain number of phases that have been defined, okay, so that from scratch we can get to the end to some products, okay, so there are different phases, prepare, I don't even remember them all, prepare, assess, map, design, and develop, okay? Because we are trying to have between the different cities the same framework so that we can also compare, we can share some of the trainings, we can share some of the sessions, some of the concerns, and we can access to a certain number of supports, training supports. So the cities, it's really interesting because we have from west to east. So I'm very happy myself because, you know, I'm French. And so I have plenty of new French speakers. They are facing also a lot of issues in Madagascar, and they are now working on the big Antananarivo, but trying to understand how to work with the communities and with Brazzaville, okay, so Congo Brazzaville. We have Uganda, our friends from Uganda, Kampala, working on also issues, congestion, traffic issues with traffic, with Takataka, etc. Another city, Liberia, okay, in Monrovia, Cameroon, Ngaoundéré, Pointe-Noire in Gabon, Saint-Louis of Senegal, so I don't have a picture now, but Saint-Louis is sharing some similarities a bit with Zanzibar. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, you know, it's a wonderful place. I would love to go there. I hope that we can organize another Open Cities there, okay? But the issue is that really, it is really a city, an island, okay? Close to the river and the sea. And so with the sea level rise, there's a lot of challenges, okay? So they want to use that Open Cities also to improve and to create some new maps that can maybe convince some of their stakeholders, deciders, policymakers to make also some decisions. Okay, so how do we, the different, I mean, there are many different activities from capacity building through a lot of field mapping, okay, so using OpenStreetMap, but not only remotely on a screen, but going into the field to enhance and to improve the quality of the data sets. So examples, here I have a few slides on what has been done in other places, okay, so where you can see an information platform in Sri Lanka developed projects within Kola and SUSA in the geospatial arena. We have now also a ZMI foundation, okay, from people, data, I hope still a bit of enthusiasm about these new innovative technologies, okay? And we have a SUSA-Kola strong link, I think, and really, again, thank you a lot, Muhammad, for coming today. I think it's important for us to have you here with us. So I would say that we have the ingredients to continue and to make something really, really good. We have other actors involved, okay? So Kola, SUSA, Stone Town Conservation Authorities, ZUSP, okay? Startup like Drone Wings, and I will invite now Dr. Muhammad to give us his vision.
Today in the world we talk about fourth revolution. I don't know if some of you have heard about this fourth revolution. Have you heard about fourth revolution? No. So go and read what is fourth revolution. The world today we are talking about fourth revolution. And in the fourth revolution, it's not like first revolution, it's not like industrial revolution, it's not like third revolution. Fourth revolution, there is a possibility a country like Zanzibar can do something wonderful. The most ingredient of fourth revolution is data. Okay? That's the most ingredient of fourth revolution. It's not like industrial revolution, you have to have industry and raw material and whatever. Fourth revolution is data. Once you have data, you can create dynamism of fourth revolution. And thanks God that Zanzibar had that opportunity at a moment of its history to have the possibility to have this possibility to have data. Today we have a data of this country, and today we have capacity and possibility to collect any data anytime we want. This is the most, imagine that you wanted to create industry of, I don't know, oil industry, and then you can go somewhere and take oil anytime you want. This is what we have today. We have possibility of you guys, you are here. Anytime we say we want to go Nungu, we have the data, what's happening now, we can fly, draw, and digitize it, processing, and have it here. Some countries, they don't know about this. They don't have possibility to do this because of capacity, because of regulation, because of whatever. It's a history process. We are there. We are in the door of fourth revolution. You know? Now it's up to us to open this door and go in and be among the giants who can play fourth revolution. You know, among the biggest millionaire today, who's the biggest millionaire today? Google. Of course. Or Facebook. Amazon. What they are doing? Just playing with data. Okay? So don't minimize yourself. Maybe in, I don't know, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you may be among the giant of this world. It's up to you guys, you know. The door is now there. We have to open it. But to open it, you really need to force, you know. It's not a matter of, have you seen this film of this guy of Google, his history? You know, you need to have, as Eve say, you need to have a basic, you need basic, you know, basic information of understanding. And then you can open this door. It's not by just say, I want to digitize, you know, when they tell you come at 2, you come at 9. When you know, you have to work hard at the moment. Really be serious and do it. And then when the door is open, then everyone will see it. So you have to create your own credibility first. And this credibility is not coming by just, you know, you have to work hard. So you have an opportunity, guys, youngsters. You have an opportunity here to create history of this world to create opportunity for yourself to create the future of this country. But you have to work hard at the moment and open the door for the revolution. Come in and play with it. Use it. Enable others to play with it. So this is what I want you to have this big picture that we are creating history here. You know, revolution is not a group of 100 people. Revolution is only 2, 3, 4 guys. They sit together and say, let's do something. They do it. You know, we are talking about today, we have this. It was only 2, 3 guys, you know. Isn't it?
Yeah.
iPhone. Today is one among the giants. It was only 2, 3 guys. But there was a basic information before, understanding, and then work hard and doing things. So this is what we have. At your age, this is the moment to make sure that maybe in 20 years' time, there may not be iPhone, but something also happened in this group, in this institution of SUSA. Okay? So this is a big picture. I want you to have it. So when we talk about ZMI, when we talk about Open City, when we talk about geospatial, this is just a transition. This is just a tool to go to that big picture. Okay? This is just a tool that we have started, and you can create a new one to go to that big picture of revolution, big picture of development of Zanzibar, big picture of yourself to be successful. You have to have that in your mind. So what is happening between ZMI and Open City? As I told you, this is exactly what happened in Eva told you before. And I don't want to repeat this story because I've been repeating, but I'm repeating because I want you to understand sometimes when you grasp information, when you grab opportunity, it can create evolution. I was invited 2015, I think, in Dar es Salaam to participate, to give a conference. In a conference, there's I think they call it Open Data Initiative in Africa. Kikwete was there. And there's this long story behind that, you know. President Kikwete was there. So I was invited. For the first time, I saw a drone with my eyes. I read about drone. It was for the first time I saw a drone, they fly a drone there. And I told this guy from World Bank, Edward, can you bring this Zanzibar? We want it. He said, yes, why not? And he bring it in Zanzibar. 2 weeks, we did Stone Town, this one. He said, can you expand it? We expanded. 2 years now, what we're saying, we are the first in the world. So this is the thing, you know, you have to be quick and do it. You understand? You do like that. If you slow thing doesn't go, especially in this field of geospatial and fourth revolution. If you slow down, people they are going very quick. So you have to be. So this is the way you do. You have to do this thing in your mind. It has to be like that. When you see opportunity, you grasp it, but you do it. Okay, we bring it in Zanzibar, but we fight. Yeah? We fight. We go to the police. So we understand. We go to the army. We go to everyone to convince. We want to do this in Zanzibar. We have to do it. They were worried, but we assure them. And then 2 years today, we have these things. Not only this thing, but we have you also, guys. We know today in geospatial and drone, most of the startup there in Zanzibar, because some of you take this opportunity and you move forward. So this is what you have, guys. This is the opportunity you have today. But it's up to you now to be. So I'm giving this story to say that ZMI, this now open data, I'm sure sometimes ago, sometimes later, there'll be something coming. This is like, I don't know, this is very crazy. You have to understand it. Sometimes it's very crazy. It doesn't stop. Pre-motion, others will come to tell you, it doesn't stop. But you have to be smart and you have to work hard at this moment to create your space, that this is my space. So yes, the idea, why did I call Edward at that time? The idea, I was planning that city of Zanzibar, you know, Ngambo, that area. We were planning that area and we found that we didn't have data. We really wanted to have a kind of new way of planning. We wanted to know where the street, where the houses, how. We didn't have data. So when I saw the drone and he told me that through drone we can make picture, I said, let's do it. So we came, we did that one. We have a map of Zanzibar and we digitize it and we've done our work. So we use that drone only to do our work. Our work has already finished now, but we are continuing with ZMI. ZMI is finished now. We open city, and tomorrow we'll open something else. So it's something like that. It always go like that. So I'm giving this story to tell you that we have this opportunity, and we are really counting on you guys, young generation, to make sure that we take this opportunity and change Zanzibar. You understand me? The fourth revolution is in your hand. The door is there. It's up to you now. You wanted to push it to open, or you sit down and say, oh, leo kuna harusi, I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's you decide. Huh? It's up to you. Ukiambiwa, let's do this, siwezi, it's up to you. But if you can, believe me, something will happen. So this is a history of ZMI. We started ZMI because we had data. Suddenly, it was beyond us. It was beyond me. Now I don't have even capacity to understand some of the issues. I was initiated at the beginning because I want maps. But now what is going on, Yusuf knows better than me. This guy is my department, he knows better than me. But I don't mind. The thing, I know that it has grown up. It will grow bigger than what I do. But now, in my capacity as a director, I wanted to use this for 5 things, which is really interesting me now. One is land administration. As you know, we have big problem of land administration in Zanzibar. And if we don't control land administration, even our economy will have a problem. So this is one important thing we wanted to make sure that this data, this information, you develop this application, try to fight on that, land administration. It's not only Zanzibar, even African generally. Urban development, urban planning, this is a tool now, We used to draw with hand, now we have started geospatial unit in our department, this guy, because we want to go fast. Good governance, this is very, very important. And this is where OpenStreet can work, good governance. When we say good governance, people thinking about police, thinking about high court. Good governance is when you want service and you get it quickly at a moment, that is good governance. Mefahamiana jamani? When you want service, nataka kituo cha daladala kwenda Jangombe, kiko wapi? You go to your apps, Jangombe, daladala, okay, nikienda darajani nitaikuwa. This is a good governance. Quick service to the society. So we wanted to go there. But economic growth, as I told you, we are talking about 4th generation, 4th revolution. Economic growth is very, very important to this. And of course, the social development. If you can employ yourself, if you can employ others, that's where we talk about, kind of. So those 5 things, this is in my mind now, which I'm working on it, on this data. But this only as someone who's working with Scholar. The big picture I've given to you, this is you. I have very limited part on it because it needs capacity, some of it I don't have. It needs time, some of it I don't have. It needs age, some of it I don't have. It needs position. You have this chance. If I were in your age, and at your age, I had another fight to fight, I can tell you the fight I fight in your age somewhere also. But now this is your fight to fight, This is not mine. I'm just giving you opportunity when I have it. I open the door for you when I have it, but try to make sure that we are doing. So to be successful in this big picture, to be successful in these 5 elements which I'm talking about, land administration, urban planning, good governance, economic growth, and social development, we need 3 groups. First of all, we need you as an expert. Revolution. Really, we are in the door of 4th revolution. And it's up to you now to do it or not. Thank you.
I know some of you are working with us on digitization and you feel sometimes how boring it is, yeah? But I will show you how important it is and what great work you've done so far, yeah? So Spatial Collective, let me just tell you a couple of sentences about our company. So we're based in Nairobi, Kenya for the past 7 years. And we do GIS stuff, but mostly we do it in a way where we support people to adapt technologies and collect data that is important for them. So we work a lot with people in the slums to collect data about slums. We work in rural areas with communities there to collect data on, property rights and things like that. We collect data on crime, we collect data on water and sanitation, all sorts of governance initiatives. So here, we were invited by the World Bank to help set up the digitization of drone imagery. You're all very familiar with this picture. You've seen it a billion times before, right? So this is what we got at that time. So in detail, we had an image. We have 239 zones, right? And so the first objective of the digitizing the ZMI was to digitize all the buildings on Unguja and Pemba, and to build capacity of Kola staff and SUSA students on digitization, and also to contribute to OpenStreetMap. So that has pretty much remained. So we picked 3 different attributes, and you will see why this was important to do this from the start. We said, okay, we're digitizing buildings, let's digitize finished buildings, unfinished, and foundation. So once we digitize, we remain with a data set like this, and in the end, it looked like something like this, right? But check this out. So finished buildings, unfinished buildings, and foundations. Do you see something? Right? We can already see just by selecting basic attributes in the beginning, we can already estimate a little bit how different cities and towns are going to spread. There's 1 week of digitizing left. So I want to give everybody an applause. We have more than 300,000 buildings now available for Unguja only. We're still doing some checking and so on and so forth, but I'm comfortable to say we will finish very, very soon. So what is the way forward now? So Zanzibar islands have not been digitized in OpenStreetMap yet. It's probably because of Eve over there, because she's been keeping everybody away, making sure that some John from the US doesn't start digitizing. Yeah? There's nothing that we can do to stop him. But then every building that he digitizes would have his name, right? It would know that Mr. Trump was the first one who digitized these buildings. And I think that would be a shame, right? Because we've digitized it, right? I mean, you've digitized it. So let's see what you've done, right? So this is OpenStreetMap, a part of Zanzibar City today. And this is what you have, right? It's also important because we can say now that every building, we can say, you see, these buildings were digitized by Sally, created in Kola, ZMI data, and SUSA students, So once that is in OpenStreetMap, then if somebody changes it with 28, 29, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, 1, 2, 3, this is the way that the zones were designed. So 4, the number of even smaller zone, and then 0001, because it's the most left, right? So like the next one now has 21G40002. So the numbers are growing as the longitude increases in the zone. So you see, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. So Sam and Justice there developed a program where these numbers can be automatically assigned once they are collected. And this is important because we want to identify where these buildings are, in which zones, and we want to attach things to it, yeah, eventually. So this is, I don't know if this is called or not, has its own number, etc., etc. So, very important, another very important step. This area is about 30,000, 40,000 people. It's a slum in Nairobi. And somebody was interested to know whether people have access to sanitation facilities. So look at what we used. So this is our team. There was about 20 data collectors. We used mobile phones. We used aerial imagery. We used the digitized data set. So everything that you have available already here on Zanzibar as well. The thing is, in Nairobi, we don't have drone imagery because we're not allowed to fly drones in Kenya. So, but we're allowed to fly airplanes, so we got the airplane imagery, right? Okay, so, same data set, and then, this is our team planning out how they're gonna do the survey on the ground. And then we went to every house, we knocked on the door, we did the survey on the mobile phone, and we sanitation facilities are, what kind of sanitation facilities there are, etc., etc. We had quite a big questionnaire, so we could do so many different analyses. It's about flood risk management here in Zanzibar City or on Zanzibar. So, for example, you know where these flooded areas are, at least approximately, right? And we now have the building data set, right? And we're going to have the road data set. And let's say we develop something like buffer zones, high risk areas or moderate risk areas and so on and so forth. kind of like flood estimation, damage slash, maps. And then this is just basic GIS, we can just say, these are probably the houses which are the most at risk. And then if we merge that with something like on-the-ground data collection, we can know things like which house is it, who is the owner, how many people live there, what is the use of the house, what is their personal experience in the past of flooding, what kind of amenities they have available, etc., etc. Imagine just this, it's a small data set, but it can give you so much information already, for someone like Dr. Mohammed here to, for planning purposes. It's incredible, right? So I'm finishing here, but I just want to, don't feel bad or sad. Digitizing is boring. We all know that, but somebody has to do it. And we will digitizing it with us. We'll do some other interesting stuff, right? But I just want you to feel inspired by what you're doing. And seriously, I've never seen anything like this before. It's amazing, and you should be very proud of yourselves. Yeah.
To use these kind of steps on doing a street view, on making the street view, and they give us GoPros that we can use them whenever we are. We go around with them on different streets and upload the images. So far we are using on collecting these images, we are using by foot, holding the walk around. We use by bicycle, as you see there in the picture. We use by phone. There is this Mapillary app. It is in Apple Play Store and Android version also it is available. You can you can download it and you can upload the images. And by car also. So far these are 4 methods that we drones are used in collecting these. And method of uploading them, we use 2 kinds of methods. And the interface, because it's very fast on uploading images and it's very powerful. Images that you have taken. The good thing is that this kind of stuffs, GoPros, the GPS, it is turned on already. So when you take the images, it detects where the image has been taken. When you upload it, it's like in command line interface. It's like coding some scripts. We code and we upload the images. And after uploading, you will see this is the view of Uruguay. And all these green lines are the images that we have already been uploaded. But of course, we almost hear that the Mapillary team started uploading these images when they came to Zanzibar using cars. So as you can see here, it is. And so far, we have already uploaded about 39,000 images, which have almost 87 GB of images that we've already uploaded in the Mapillary. And that's all. And of course, we have some challenges on this kind of doing this Mapillary. For example, internet connection. We are using, of course, the SUSE internet, but it's quite slow because if we are using our own bundle, only 5 minutes, 1 GB. So it's like, so it's a challenge for us. But also, when you move on the streets. When you have this GoPros, the streets awareness to the community is still low, so others are thinking that maybe you are taking something, maybe so it's quite a challenge to us when we are mapping those street views, and others are talking back to you, but okay, they take our pictures, and so it's quite a challenge to us. And what has been done so far for us, of course, we successfully produced the preliminary Unguja planning reports for those areas. That has been affected by rainy season of April and May. I will share the link so that you can see the report. I can share the link with you later. And others like training and consultations, we've done a lot of these outreach programs and videography and photography. And last week we had got this opportunity to organize global mapathon to end female genital mutilation. Actually, we conducted with almost 70 countries to do this kind of steps. And the good thing is that for us, because we thought that FGM was a kind of community issue, so we thought, okay, let's not sit drawings and drawings and do this kind of stuff. Let's involve community on this, because FGM is a community issue based, and we involve almost 22 NGOs in Zanzibar. So we are working on it. Soon we will call on all of you to get your feedbacks, and soon we so this is our future project called the Fly with the Gun. It will involve only women. Sorry for boys. Thank you.
I want to ask you a question. Why do you build in a, why don't you expand it so you can have them in the area where they are?
In agriculture, I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure. Good question, but
Try to expand other areas. I think you have a lot of gaps.
thank you so much. Flood, drone, which matters the bottom, so
Interesting. They have mapped most of the flood-prone areas, just during the floodings. Okay, so there are plenty of shots of these situations. So I think it's good, and it could be the start of a frequent, quarterly or after flood type of report. I think so. I think it's important. Hosted in Zanzibar, a map box training, so with all the open cities, okay, all the developers from the other cities involved in open cities, and for 2 days we created plenty of interactive maps.
We took this training, which was held at Marumaro Hotel. It was 2-day training, so different developers participated in there, and we work on a project. So we work in group, so each group has chosen its own project within. So here is the project that we work on. The first one was a 3D building. So the team worked with this mapper to develop a 3D building. So every building, it shows its pop-up of the information that of what the building is about. So, and another information of our cultural heritage in Zanzibar. So we need to slide down and you see the information. And another one is a total student of each school in Zanzibar. So we will know everything, monkey, something like that. And another one is a drone imagery. So you can get that. So,
Plenty of this type of maps, very easily.
we have upcoming project. It's a web application, but we want to develop a mobile application. So it will be in Play Store. And, so, but the developer, if they want to participate, everyone he can take its own project to work on, and then after finishing it, we can combine them in one app. So we'll merge them all the projects. So thank you.
Yeah, so for the Zanzibar building layer,
Yes.
for Zanzibar building layer, is there any possibility of having
If the information,
especially for Stone Town only?
yes, you just need to have the information somewhere. Okay. You just need to have, so because that is using OpenStreetMap directly. They are not using any other data. They are using OpenStreetMap. So when tagging in OpenStreetMap the height of the building, then you have it, and then you can do it. But it needs to be somewhere. It needs the height. Yes, or right? Different institutions involved. Okay. I would like to take that opportunity of having you also today to now think collectively, okay, about things that we can develop, okay, in the coming weeks, months, within that Open City initiative, okay? So, yes, there will be food. In fact, we didn't really plan any coffee every time, okay? But there is chakula for everybody at the end of this session, okay? So I know that our brains maybe need some food, okay? But we will wait a bit, and at the end we will we will have some. So when we had already two different, each city had to define really what is exactly what are the main issues in our city. It seems that the case study for Zanzibar, the main issue that was described, that was defined, was the issue of finance. Okay? Some you can see them easily because they are blocking the roads. Okay? Like we see them, but we also know that in some other places there are floods happening that we don't always see because they are in remote areas or they are in. But in the future, heavy and intense rains will probably occur more frequently, more, and that's I remember that even this year, the rainy season was quite intense, quite long. I can see that now it's already starting, but that is just a normal small rainy season. Okay, we'll see if there are any floodings. There can be, for sure, some natural floods. I mean, there are some areas that need to be flooded, natural ponds, and some others which are created by some kind of human features, human construction that block water. Okay. You saw, for those of you living close to Mbweni, Chukwani, Kembesamaki, these days they are building some new drainage system that will go up to Zanzibar Beach Resort also, because there are some floods, but maybe ZUSP, our colleagues from ZUSP knows much more about it, about these big works, because it's under your portfolio of activities. And the before, inform who, communities, inform policymakers, donors about the issues. So I would like to split this room, just have a digital team and then a drone team and a special team for the day. Each team will just present a bit.
Survey ya kuyaelewa ile maeneo.
The end of it, when unaongea saizi ni wenyewe
Sio
present.
professional zaidi sana maana siogopi anaongea tu.
Tunafanya nani alafu then sisi tuna produce some kind of report kama
output.
Sasa hiyo output yetu itakuwa na information ya kitu gani na gani na gani.
Biashara shaisha.
The information product of that information tunapata nayo.
Haya bwana tuatikiri bwana. Product. Sababu madata tutayo haya.
Kwa sababu pale yani tukufahamu tunaiti kama sisi tuna plan ya kile kitu kinatokezea kwa kama ni washirika ambao tunatoa plan au
So this is like step 1.
Lakini hizi hapa ziko customized kwa.
What activities do the government do to solve the issue of flooding when it rains?
Thank you, Nan.
Probably you can say, okay, before and then during the flooding. Activity hata kama unajua, just say.
There is no activity.
I think no activity, no activity.
Activity lakini just wana inform tu kwamba watu information kwamba wana date fulani na kwa wale watu kwa kamera yake leta tulivu wako wana set na watu wengine wanafanya nini bado wana continue.
Lakini hata hizo information is passed through radios. Most of people don't listen to radios.
Some of the people wanapata information na some
Like no one is there. We don't have NGOs or stakeholders trying to solve the issue.
None.
Okay.
And also the most terrible thing about flood is that people are unable to come from maybe Wubu to the town. It's very, very complicated. Yeah.
What about health issues? Do you have outbreaks? This is outbreaks.
Outbreaks.
Some of which have been registered by the government.
I think so. Diseases, yeah, I think so.
And then what happens? Do we have like for the developments, like the urban planning department, do they have a directives on how people should construct houses?
No.
So guys, but these places are planned.
I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I don't think if they are like they were really planned. I don't think so.
Because sometimes look at the relationship between flooding and planning. You see whether there's probably like for you people have been doing digitization, so you know when you put the red rectangle, a green one, a black one, you know what it means. But there's someone who doesn't know what it means. Sasa unaweza mpa ujumbe in terms of infographics. Imagine infographics. Yeah. Then there's also text that can be generated from a report. You send that. So you see, when this information is shared between government agency and the communities, wataweza kuelewa. And then we also have that aspect of updating the data. So you can use applications like Mapier and all that to capture images of the place now as you go. So pia inawasaidia kuelewa nini wakati kuna mvua inakaa hivi, wakati hamna mvua inakaa hivi and all that. So they can, as the council, they can know what they can do with the area. So that if kama sasa mnasema there's nothing they do in terms of rescuing this any once the flooding comes, now they will be able to act. Sababu wanajua if it's October kuna mvua, if it's April kuna mvua, kama ni hizi zingine hamna mvua. So when it's dry we can probably dig trenches and all that. When it's raining we can just, before the rains we move people from these regions. Yeah. So it will be something that you do value addition. It's all value addition. Yeah. So compared to, you see, like you cannot rely on the satellite imagery alone, because the imagery kama sasa hivi we're using an imagery of 2016. Sasa hivi we're in 2018. So things have changed. Labda kwa jamaa amechimba mtaro, yani mtaro mahali. Labda kwa jamaa amekuja akaezeka nini? Nyumba kubwa, ni vitu kama hizo. So lazima, once you do the digitization, you acquire the image, you make maps, you also need to update these maps. Sio kwenda kupeleka map ya 2016 kwa jamaa wa council. Atakuwa anafanya decision za 2 years ago. You are already. So umeelewa? So that's how you explain the whole scenario. Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Like a deal with Safaricom, which takes many years, you know, to like even months or years, you know, to get a deal so they can allow you to send things like that, you know. And unless you collect the mobile phones yourself, which is also a lot of data and a lot of like legal issues, you know. I also think good ideas, but that is for the future, right? So what can we do right now that with the skills that we have and the data that we have and the data that we collect? So we have digitizers, so they will finish digitizing and then they will probably do some field data collection using GPS and using mobile phones. We have mapillary, we have the drones, and the rains are coming, yeah? So, I don't know, you guys, I have some ideas, but I will wait for you to say first. Yeah, no?
Before the rain, we have that already. There is
that you don't need to tie into like a lot of these different departments that might take you many years to do the workflow, you know. But I like your idea of bringing the data to the people, right? Because we have it, we know it, we see it, but people don't. So what could be another way? And you know, I'm not trying to be like the party breaker, you know? But I'm just speaking from experience, you know.
Yeah.
What can be the other way that we bring the information to the people? You know, I think that's really important point that you're making work than the app. You know, again, you see, you need to go to the ministry and this, and it might take, the rains will be finished before you do this. You know, so the question is like,
but The next, we are going to digitize road. Sure. Yes, we are going to digitize road and others. So during the flow of transport, we can initiate early warning. So the rainfall is red, so people have to be ready to get disaster. So if you are maybe in town, don't use this road because it can be flooded. So the villagers or the citizens already know that if the rainfall is occurred, this road we can use for transportation. It can be flooded anytime. So early warning, any people can get, even the people who have not smartphone, maybe they are listening radio, they can hear that. So I think that's why it can be used during the rainfall. Or finally, we have to name it. Maybe this road during a flood, it is flooded. So people may understand.
Yeah, they think what? Then maybe they live it, and then they do it, But if you tell them in their languages that they understand that, okay, easy, don't go there.
It is better.
It is better, I think. I think now, what I'm just innovate my ideas, then now we don't use that real time. We have it already happens, the floods, and then the flood is gone, so we have a data. We have the data of the flood when it is a flood, and we have the data when it's not a flood.
Yeah.
And we have the data of the road.
It's about you're trying to think how we can make data accessible to the people when they don't have mobile phones or internet, or they don't know how to read the map, yeah? But we do, yeah? We know how to read the map, yeah? So how about something like this? We map the roads, we map the areas. What about something like this, right? To bring the data into the real world, You can put signs there and say, this road is prone to flooding during rains, or this area floods during.
I want to ask some question about this way.
Yeah.
How we can get the data and to reach such solution.
Yeah.
We get the data and process it. Then other people have to reach the flooded area and to keep that. We can say Kiswahili bango that show the information that this area is not, I can say, good to pass.
Enough data. They don't have enough au tunasema accurate equipments ambazo zinaweza zikawasaidia wao katika kufanya
hivyo. Now we have to change. Tutumie njia nyingine tupige. Okay, hiyo unaona kama itakuwa ni risk. So inaweza ikakubalika. Na inakubalika of course. Maana kama tunaweka alternative instead of it tunaweka. Lakini je, katika masuala ya preparedness kama ndio bila tools sisi hapa tunazo hizi drone na mabox hizo mapilari na nini tunajiandaa vipi? Maana sasa tunaanza kusema katika preparedness plan zile tools bana, tunategemea mafuriko yatakuwepo. Je, kutumia tools hizi tunajiprepare na vipi katika mafuriko haya? Je, tunaweza tukaproduce kitu hapa kutokana na hizi tools zetu? Kwa mfano tunaweza predict sound, unatabiri yale, lakini zile tunapopredict wanakusanya watu tushafanya kazi ndani.
Azia. Kwa ndio hicho ambacho tunakizungumza. Nadhani nacho katika mitigation.
Ya mitigation inaweza ikaingia
awareness. So namba 5, kwa hiyo tuweze kuweka ile awareness.
Kama mfano pale unaliona lile bonde kila siku la port. Unajua kingo kujengea of course
save erosion
katika zile sehemu
katika mitigation
trees and grass. Unafahamu yale kwa nini wanaita Hollywood ikaita Hollywood, yani nyumba za mitaani sana hamna yale, unasikia automatic yake inaweza kufikia urefu yani ndio zina kingo ambayo inapanda zile yale. Of course mimi huku
Okay, what we discuss in our team, the idea comes from us is just we are experts. we know about geospatial, we know about data. So we can collect the data. And so, but what we want is to help the people that is local more than us. They don't know about data more than us. So what we say that we want to tell them what will happen and what happened now in their language, the language that they will understand easily. So the idea comes up like, okay, I am an expert. I know how to read a map easily. I know how to know that this place is flooded. But a local one, it's not easy to understand that this place is flooded because of the map only. So, like we can create them the way, the language, or the thing that he can understand easily. That what we discuss, then we come up with the idea, like we start in a processing mode. That first, maybe at Monakwerekwe, we have a data that is flooded and not flooded. So we take Mabango. Mabango, I don't know in English, Mabango. Huh? Slow, okay, Mabango. And then we can put it, this place, when the rain is coming, here will be flooded. And then this flooded starts from here up to here. We put it Mabango everywhere that we see that slogan, the slogan that this place will be flooded, we put it there. It is the first process. So we go in a step by step. Then we can go to the social media to tell them, okay, hello, there is a flooded and Monakwerekwe will be flooded. So people go out. This, oh, just do this, this, and this for the precautions. And then we can go much higher, then we can create a map. Like it's not a real time, but it's just a real time. Okay, now it's flooded because there's a rain. The map will tell them in their way, the words they understand, the language they understand, how we can teach them to know that there is a flood. That's what our idea is, to bring the data to the people. That's all.
Fight, that's the first important things. And also we want to identify the stream that accumulate the water to that area. So what we want to understand is like, we know this is the area in which water are accumulated, but what exactly, where are these water coming from? That is important thing for us to understand before the rains come to start. And also we want to understand how do we take this water out of this area, meaning that we want to understand the drainage system, the drainage network that is removing this water from this area where we have the floods. And the fourth in preparation, we want to understand affected objects or affected things. For instance, we want to understand the houses. It's not just the houses, but the buildings, any type of building, whether it is for residential, whether it is for public services or whatever, that it will be affected with the flood of those areas. We want to understand the roads, we want to understand the shelters, and we want to understand the public services. Anything that is around that area, we want to understand its status before we. That is in a preparation phase. And when it's come to the response, because we will already understand about many features available in that area, in response, we want to understand if we already understand number of people who might be affected on that area, then we can prepare better for evacuation. And here for us, we are thinking like the most things to be evacuated the peoples and not their belongings. So we are focusing on saving the lives, and we can find a way in the mitigation. We will see what we think about the belongings of those people. But in response, we want to evacuate the people. So if we understand from these buildings how many people are living in, then we can get a better estimate on how many we want to evacuate whenever we have a flood of the area. And also, we want to understand the damage. This is also in a response as well. Once we have evacuated, we want to understand what has been exactly damaged in terms of the previous data that we have. In recovery, here we say we need to let the community understand. In mitigation, we have a couple of things here we want to mention. First of all, we want to talk about monitoring and evaluation of this drainage. The most important things whenever we want to cater the flooding stuff is for people to understand, it's for us. I mean, now we know there's a construction of many drainage from Manakwerekwe, and some of these drainage are trapping the water on the way before they are reaching to the area in which it is flooded. So we want to monitor them, and we want to evaluate them. In evaluation, it's come, for instance, when we were building this drainage, maybe we had this X number of people living around, but the number of people will be increased, of course, and we want to understand what will be their impact of this population increase to this area. And also in mitigation, we want people to have awareness. So this is also depend on the community of how they should protect the drainage on themselves. How they should protect the drainage whenever they want to throw in the garbage or maybe the waste stuff, they have to have the awareness on themselves. This will reduce the flooding scales on that area. And also we thought about having the pre-warning systems. The pre-warning system here is come to the side of the weather forecast peoples, which we don't have them here today. Sorry for that. And here, when weather forecast people is to understand the accuracy of the information that they are providing. For instance, there was a forecast that can say we are hoping to have a rain from this date to that date, but then what is happening? You don't have the rain from the dates which has been mentioned, and then you have some of the belongs are sent from the water. So if we really have the accuracy information about these weather, the worst cases. And also, we have found out like most of this flooding area, we have some erosions. Use this soil erosion on these areas. So this is kind of a mitigation area. And the last, in mitigation, most of the time, the challenge of our drains here is having the garbage and the waste, plastics, bottles in the drains. This means maybe the local government has to prepare a better way of collecting this kind of stuff before they are going to be dumped on those drains. And this will be a better way to help taking out the water which are accumulated when it is raining to those drainage which are still under construction. And the last, we need to improve the network of the drain and to understand their status. Thank you so much.
Zile picha ambazo tunazitoa kwa drone alafu tunaziprocess. Unajua tunapata output nyingi sana ambazo zinaonyesha zile prone areas za flood ambazo zipo kama vile Mwanakwerekwe, Kibonde Mzungu, but how watu zile data, yani zile output tunazipata kama hizi ni sehemu ambazo zina mafuriko, wanazipataje? Ambao watu hao ndio wahusika na wanaoathirika na hizo mafuriko. But sisi tumefikiria vitu kama vinne kwamba after taking the picture kwa drone na kuziprocess, kuna kuja kipindi cha kufanya digitalization. Digitalization ndio inaonyesha zile information zote, zile sehemu ambazo zina mafuriko na vitu vingine, lakini zile data zikishafanyikwa zinapelekwa wapi? So sisi tuna masheha ambao ni watu responsible ya wale wana vijiji na watu wengine, pia kuna manispaa ambao wanashughulikia hizo vitu. Sasa hizi data endapo tutazipeleka kule kwamba tushafanya digitalization, tunazipeleka kule kwa manispaa na watu wa share na watu wengine, kwamba zile data mashare wanazifikisha direct kwa wananchi wao, ambao kwa mfano watu wanaokaa karibu pale wanasambaza, yani kuna mikutano ya vijiji ile kwamba wanaelezwa kipindi fulani kutakuwa na mafuriko au mvua, kipindi kama hicho mvua zitakuwa nyingi, sawa. So tukiwepo vitu kama hivyo, basi inaweza ikaminimize, so kuondosha bila shaka, kuondosha na kwa ngumu, lakini itapunguza. Pia jambo jingine kwamba after digitization ya hizi data zetu, we can put them on open street map, kwamba everyone ambaye anaweza kutumia open street map can access them and akaona kwamba what happened mvua kunapokuwa mafuriko and what happened before mafuriko. Sawa. Kwa itaonyesha, italeta ile real picture kwamba bwana, kwamba panapotokea mafuriko kwamba athari gani zinatokea pale, na before mafuriko kuna nyumba ngapi ambazo zimeathirika na watu wangapi ambao wameathirika, kwamba tutakuwa na such kind of map ambayo inaonyesha all this information ambayo itakuwa included kwenye hiyo map. Pia jambo lingine, we can have like an app ambayo itakuwa na, kwa mfano kwa sababu watu wengi wapo wanatumia Android lakini most of them they don't know how to use map. So what we thought is we can create like a text zile za kawaida kwenye simu, kwamba zikawa zinafikia wananchi ambao wako zile prone area ambao zinaathirika na flood, kwamba zinaonyesha kwamba bwana, this area sehemu fulani kipindi fulani, yani kabla mvua hazijaja, ambao tunajua mvua nyingi ambazo zina athari ni kipindi cha masika. So before that, kwamba the text watu kwa wanatumiwa ili kuwaweka attention, kuwa na warning kwamba bwana, kipindi fulani mvua zitakuja za kiasi fulani, zinakuja fulani ambazo zitakuwa na athari fulani. So acha hilo tu, kwamba wapo watu ambao wana Android, ile smartphone nazungumzia, kwamba tunaweza tukatuma zile graphics ya sawa, kwamba bwana, hii ndo eneo ambalo litakuwa na mafuriko na mvua itakayotokea na milimita kadhaa zitakazokuja kwa eneo hili linaweza likajaa na likaleta athari. Pia tunaweza tukawa na map, yani tunatumia mapillary hapa, lakini we don't know, watu hawajajua sana ilivyo, lakini tunaweza kutumia mapillary tukachukua picture before rain, after ile rain na flood, na before flood kuondoka na kukauka, ili kuonyesha ile real picture what is happening. Na watu, kwa sababu mtu unapomwambia tu kuna mafuriko, hayuko pale lakini anatarajia kununua nyumba pale, lakini ukionyesha kwamba ile real picture kwamba bwana, after mvua ikija utakuwa na kitu fulani, kwa ile mapila bila shaka kama watu washaye kutumia, kwa inaonyesha ile kuna picha kila eneo liko pale, inaonyesha kwamba bwana, hapa kwenye mvua, baada ya mvua na athari zake, na watu walivyosumbuka na walivyoteseka, distractions zilizotokea. So I think itakuwa ni moja ya jambo ambalo litaminimize, japokuwa halitaondosha permanent, kidogo kidogo litaminimize kidogo kama hivyo. Na moja ya kitu ambacho tumekiona ambacho kidogo itakuwa ni rahisi is putting the map ambayo inaonyesha zile flooded area on a road. Bila shaka watu wengi wanakuwa wanapita kwenye nini, so we can create that kind of map and put them on a road so anyone can see it and know, and I can say anaweza kuona which part of the ile flooded area inaathirika sana na watu gani na kiasi gani cha watu labda wameathirika, vitu kama hivyo. Kwa tukizipia kwenye njia, itakuwa ni moja ya solution ya kuondosha, ya kupunguza hiyo flood ya watu kuishi, yani I mean watu walio katika na ile katika maeneo yanafurika yale, athari zikapungua na watu wengine pengine wakahama kabisa kwenye maeneo kama haya. Thank you.
Preliminary survey. This will help us establish who is really affected with these floods, because from our group discussions we found that mostly women and children are more affected than men in cases of these flash floods. So we use tools like drones, first of all, to create an inventory of the area, like this is the Mwanakwerekwe area, what is there, pipes, what is really affected. And then the next step is also to know who live there, like which people are these, the businesses, the type of, if it's mostly a residential or a business area. And then the next thing is to use the tools like we thought of mobile phones first. Mobile phones are the easiest way for people to communicate. So they use SMSs, they use calling, and everything. So that's our main tool to communicate all our information products. Like let's say something happens, people SMS, so it's easier to know like these SMSs are coming from one Africa or a specific area. try to geolocate those, and they sort of help us build an inventory. And then the tools for the preliminary survey are like QGIS, drones. This, when you capture images, help us build an inventory of the area. So those are the tools we use, and the existing ZMI data. And then for the workflow, we thought of it simply as, let's say, just like people, when something happens, they communicate, and then it moves to a central area. And this central area, we have a sharing platform like Mapbox, where, let's say, the municipal council sees, call us, user, all these stakeholders see it. And then they can say, what can we tackle first? If it's a broken sewer, someone reported a broken sewer, the sewer department can act on it. If someone reported a broken pipe or something else, then the water people can deal with it. That's it.
Everybody, you are with us? Yes? Primoz? Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot for this morning session. Okay, I think it was really instructive or I hope, okay, it was instructive for some of you to understand what we are doing the others, okay? I hope this is just one of the very first meeting and we could meet a bit more regularly, okay, so that we are just improving in all what we do and in our knowledge of all what the others do also, because you understand that it's all about creating opportunities here, okay, so that we just continue our journey into innovation and trying to solve some of the issues we are facing here, okay? So, thank you again, all for coming.